Hi, my name is Javier Pita, CEO of NaviLens, and I'm very excited to share with you NaviLens project, a new kind of QR code that can be read up 40 feet far away. So the agenda is this. We are going to talk about the introduction to the NaviLens technology, how it works, the validation by users and visually impaired organization, very important, the current use cases that we are applying the technology in real. In the use case outdoors with bus stops, solving the bus stops last few meters wayfinding problem. At indoors with the subway wayfinding use case. Third, applying the code at smart Tactile-Paving on train station. Applying the code as well in making accessible food packages. We are going to talk about the Kellogg's Coco Pops project. It's very exciting. Talking about the street name accessible signage, the accessible pedestrian crossing signal project, accessible museums. And later, we are going to talk about the free NaviLens Codes for domestic use that any user can download for free, and the NaviLens Friends and Family feature. Talk more about the NaviLens free kits for association and the school, and in the end, what's next? What is the NaviLens 360 vision feature? So let's start it. First, one introduction to NaviLens. At NaviLens, we saw this. For visually impaired people, the visually impaired people are not completely independent in unknown spaces because it's not possible to read well and follow the traditional signage indications. So this happens everywhere, at train station, hotels, public buildings, malls, hospitals, everywhere. So our idea was, okay, why don't put something on the signage and use the camera of the mobile phone like an eye for the visually impaired person in order to obtain the information and the indication. And our first approach was to use QR codes. But I don't know if you know that the QR code was invented 27 years ago. And as it's not possible to read a QR code from a very long distance, and you need to know exactly where the QR code is, it doesn't work. So we spent 5 years of our life from 2012 to 2017 doing research and development between our startup and the University of Alicante to create a new kind of QR code, easy scannable for the visually impaired. And after these 5 years, we achieved it. An incredible code that can be scannable at 40 feet far away in only 0.03 seconds and without need to focus it, without need to know exactly where the code is. The NaviLens code was born in 2017, and we patented the technology. We are the only company that have a technology like this. The NaviLens code is a 5x5 matrix that use colors. Instead of black and white, like the QR code, we use colors. We use magenta, black, yellow, and cyan. And using colors give us an incredible features. First, the NaviLens code can be read 12 times farther than the QR and barcodes. And the distance depends on the size that you print the code. A 6 inches NaviLens code can be read 40 feet far away. If you print a NaviLens code in an A4 and a standard piece of paper, you can read at 60 feet far away. And if you print in an A3, you can read the code up 100 feet far away. That is incredible. The second thing is the code can be read in a very big wide angle. For example, you don't need to read the code in front. You can read the code with a very, very, very big angle. And this is very important because the blind user doesn't know exactly where is the code and they don't know if it's reading the code in front or with angle. Third is super quick. The code can be read in only 0.03 seconds. It's instantly. And four, the code can be read in all light conditions, outdoors with plenty of sun and in the dark. So it's possible it's not required to have light to the code in order to read it. So it's possible to put a code outside and only with the indirect light of the street lights can be read it. Okay. The unique value of the code is that The code is possible to read with distance plus a very big angle and an incredible speed. And this combination makes unique the NaviLens code. We are seeing here a NaviLens code with a very sharp angle with 80 degrees, and it's possible to read it. We applied this technology into the NaviLens app that, of course, it's available not only in iPhone and iOS, in Android device as well, in all the mobile phones of the world. Second, we validated this technology with users and the visually impaired organization. First, our first challenge was this, with ONCE, the Visually Impaired Association in Spain. And they had a trade show that is called Tiflo Innova in Madrid. And imagine how to make more accessible one trade show environment for the blind user with several booths, how to achieve that the user can independently visit each booth. So the solution was easy. Adding one NaviLens code in each booth near to the title, we can make visible this for the user. The feedback was incredible. You can see on many videos over in our YouTube channel. So telling about this is amazing, must be everywhere. And we work very closely with the organization, starting with the ONCE here in Spain, okay? And the ONCE itself added the technology in their buildings, like this, for example. And we work with other visually impaired associations around the world, like RNAB, like they have the NaviLens code in their headquarters, and in the United States with the Lighthouse Guild headquarters in New York, okay, and many other associations globally. Globally. What is the current use cases that we are applying the technology? Well, first, I would like to talk more about the outdoors use case, the bus stops. How to solve the last few meters wayfinding problem. What is this? At outdoors, the user use GPS, but GPS is not, sometimes is not accurate enough for the blind user because they have some error. So this challenge is that the user can go more or less to the vicinity of the bus stop, but the problem is how to fill the gap of the last few meters error, the last few yards wayfinding problem. And with NaviLens is easy. Adding the NaviLens code in the element itself, in this case, we are seeing a picture of a bus shelter in Barcelona with a NaviLens code itself. And the user only need to use the GPS in order to go to the vicinity to the bus stop, open NaviLens app, and hold over the chest, and the camera will detect the code very quickly.
25 feet, 22 feet away, Barcelona bus stop. Gran Via Plaza España, upcoming arrivals, line H12 Besos Vernita 9 minutes, line 109 Hospital Clinic 11 minutes, line 91 Manso 17 minutes, line 52 PL Catalunya 18 minutes, line 13 Mercat Sant Antoni 29 minutes, exchange area. Thank you for trusting TMB. 20 feet, 20 feet, 15 feet, 1 of 2.
Okay, so the thing is that the user is receiving not only where exactly is the location of the bus stop, the distance to the bus stop, and very important, the direction to the bus stop is obtaining the real-time arrivals of this particular bus stop. And this using only a piece of vinyl, a piece of paper that is added to the bus shelter. In this case, in Barcelona, they have added a NaviLens code of 12 inches. So the code, the 30 centimeters, so the code can be read up 100 feet far away or 30 meters. That is an incredible distance. And without knowing exactly where the code is, that is important. NaviLens code is like an universal signage for everybody because the same code serves information and location of the bus stop for the visually impaired user and serves information, real-time information using their transit application, okay, scanning the same code. So the same code that is in the bus shelter can be used by a visually impaired people to locate and obtain audible information of that particular bus stop, and for the site users in order to scan the code and obtain real-time information. And very important, in the language of the user. So depending on the language of the mobile phone, the user will obtain the information in their own language. I have here my Japanese telephone number in Japanese. And if I read the same code with my telephone in Japanese,
1-2、3メートル先、ストップ3247、グランビアプラサエスパニア、次の到着。
Okay, I don't speak Japanese, okay? And this is, NaviLens can speak 33 languages using only one code, the same code. That is very useful. Well, second, we are here at the bus stop. We have located the bus stop and we are waiting our bus vehicle. But the problem is, what happened when multiple routes stop in the same bus stop? So one bus stop has several routes and different vehicles, bus vehicles can stop there. How the users can check independently the route of the bus vehicle that is approaching? But with NaviLens is easy. Adding a NaviLens code on the door of the bus vehicle make that the user is the equivalent to the digital display of the bus. The users can check the route and destination, reading super quickly the same code that is in the bus vehicle, super quickly. And additionally, helping to locate the exact position of the bus door. And as simple as to add the NaviLens code at the vehicle. Super easy. And here we are seeing an image of a visually impaired user using their mobile phone in order to read a NaviLens code that is in a bus vehicle that is like 5 meters far away or 20 feet far away, and having the information of this particular bus vehicle, the number 35 and where exactly is the door. Okay. And inside the vehicles, when we are inside inside any building, we have some challenge with the accessible information. For example, we are seeing here signage in Germany inside a vehicle of the Deutsche Bahn, the train operator in Germany, that is showing language, German language, is telling something like, I don't speak German, but something like helfen Sie mit die, I don't know, okay? The thing is, this information is invisible for the visually impaired people. So when we added the NaviLens code, okay, we make this information visible. And remember, this signage is in German. So if I read this information with my mobile phone in English, I'm going to obtain this.
6 feet away, help stop the spread of the coronavirus. 1. Wash your hands regularly for at least 20 seconds. 2. When coughing and...
Okay, and all this information. So it's not this, the NaviLens code is not only making the signage accessible for the blind user, it's helping all the population, all the users in order to understand the message in their own language, in English, for example, as we are seeing here, or in Japanese, or in the other 33 languages that NaviLens manage. So we applied this technology in so many places. In one of them is in New York with MTA and DOT. Look at this was the presentation, official presentation. So look at this. Is the bus pole at New York, at Manhattan, with the NaviLens code. And this is very important. This is, you can see two images. In the left, you can see the the standard bus stop at New York, at Manhattan. And in the right, you can see the same bus pole, but with the NaviLens code added to that. And look at this. Only adding the NaviLens code, we can make more accessible this bus stop. So it's super easy to implement because in general, it's only to adding an element to the current signage. And that means that it's super easy to scale. To make, for example, accessible all the bus stop in New York City, like it's more than 20,000, it's as simple as to add the NaviLens code. Not dealing with electronic batteries, maintenance, okay, something like that. Adding, using signage, like an accessible element. And this is, again, helping the visually impaired. Then I'm going to read this bus stop in real time. What is the next arrival that is coming?
9 feet away, bus stop East 23 Street Broadway. Next 10 feet away, bus stop East 23 Street Broadway. Next arrivals, the next M23 SBS bus to Chelsea Piers 12 AV is 3 minutes away and 10 minutes.
Okay,
10 feet.
So the system is telling us the distance, the direction, the location of the bus stop ID, and the real-time information. And in the same time, if for the sighted users, they can access to the information super quickly in order to confirm the information. And if there is more information, like for example, the occupancy, information, we can transmit this information to the user. Okay, second, the subway wayfinding challenge. How to solve the indoor navigation for the blind when you don't have any GPS signal, okay? So the thing is easy with NaviLens technology as well. We are adding the NaviLens code on the current signage. So adding the NaviLens code, we are seeing here a signage that have some icons. It's telling that is the platform number 2, direction to the airport, T1, and through the line 9 South at your right. So the transit operator only need to put a NaviLens code and write the same information that is in the signage. Is I read the signage.
9 feet away, on your right access platform track 2, direction airport T1. Follow the signaled route. Attention.
Okay, so the thing is easy, Chris. And with this, Barcelona tested the system with a panel of more than 20 visually impaired users. And the results were incredible. Here we have a testimony of a user that is telling, with this app, it's as if you take a guide. In other words, I go with my dog, who is my guide to the struggles, but then my eyes will be my iPhone with the NaviLens application. Incredible. Amazing, sorry. So TMV validated the system with an anonymous survey of the user, and the 80% of these users of this panel were totally in favor of extending NaviLens to more location of the network, and the remaining 12 declared themselves very much in favor. So Barcelona decides to make accessible all their network, and right now they have 159 subway stations with the NaviLens technology and 2,400 bus stops, their entire network with the NaviLens technology. And this technology is not only helping the visually impaired users, as I said, make accessible the information for everybody. Here we are seeing, a signage in Chinese with different instructions to the right, to the left, to the different arrows, okay? And I cannot understand what is the direction to the airport. The same NaviLens codes can help all the users, showing them what is the direction of the airport in their own language. The same code that help the visually impaired community. There is a very good article that you can Google and search from the MIT Technology Review about the Barcelona implementation, okay, that you can consult, looking for these colorful stickers are helping blind people find their way around. Very, very good article that wrote the MIT Technology Review. And in New York, we have implemented this technology at the J Street Metro station. And we can see here the main entrance of the J Street Metro station, the famous stairs, okay, and the signage. And look, and you can see a NaviLens code on the signage of the entrance of this subway station. This code helps the visually impaired people in order to obtain the same information that is in the signage, deliver this real-time information about the next departures with the inclusion of the elevator status of this particular station that is super important, for example, for people in wheelchair or a person with a baby carriage or something like that. And third, the first BPS visual position system augmented reality navigation. using the NaviLens Code in order to help you navigate indoors to the site destination. So, and the implementation is very easy as well. It's adding the NaviLens Code and the route. Adding the NaviLens Code at the signage, making accessible this for the blind users. Adding the NaviLens Code over the decision point or assets. Here we are seeing an elevator with the NaviLens Code, okay, that can be read with the application. And empowering the visually impaired to be fully independent to reach their desired destination completely in an independent way. Well, we implemented the technology as well very soon, very close of the organizers, okay, here in Los Angeles at Union Station, LA Metro. I invite you that you try the technology there, okay? You can see here the image of the main entrance of LA Metro. Here an image about the NaviLens Code near the office, the customer assistance office. And here at the red line in the LA Metro Los Angeles, okay? Please, if you can go there, go and try the NaviLens technology for yourself. Okay, smart tactile paving is super interesting use case for the NaviLens. And the tactile paving is a very good invention from the Japanese Seiji Miyake and is present in several transit facilities. But the challenge is how the visually impaired user knows that they need to turn at one decision point to turn right or to turn left, okay? Again, if he or she didn't have memorized the route, they cannot know exactly what is the direction. So this is the Atocha station in Madrid, in Spain, the biggest train station in all Spain, high-speed trains, and they had tactile paving. And look at this. We improved the tactile paving, adding the NaviLens Code over the floor. So adding the sticker on the floor in the decision point. And doing this, we are seeing, for example, here the platform number 11, with one tactile paving coming from the left, another coming from the right. Okay, so at this decision point, we added a NaviLens Code. And the problem is, if the user is coming from the left, the direction must be turn left to the platform number 11. But if the user is coming from the right, the indication must be turn right to the platform number 11. So the NaviLens Code can be configured by, depending on the site that you are reading the code, you are going to obtain one is to another. In this case, if you're coming from the left, turn left to ATHEX platform 11. And if you come from the right, turn right to ATHEX platform 11. That is incredible. You have some videos of visually impaired users moving around this station, okay, with as simple as to add the NaviLens Code at the tactile paving. So if the station has a tactile paving, the implementation of an independent route is super easy with NaviLens technology, because in the end, it's adding only a sticker into the floor. And you can have more information about this in a website that we have made in order to tribute a recognition for the Seiji Miyake, the inventor of the tactile paving, celebrating the 55 years of the invention. And you can search this website at kenjiblogs.com for more information about this. Okay. Another very good project that we have done with RNEB in London and Kellogg's company is accessible food package with the Kellogg Coco Pops. So, you know the difficulty to access to the information of a food package with the ingredients, the allergens, okay, all the kinds of information. So Kellogg's launched in October of the last year, in 2020, a special package with the NaviLens Code printed. And only printed the NaviLens Code, the users could locate the package inside the store with different cereals, okay, in the shelters, okay, and obtain the information. Indeed, here we have a tweet of Dr. Amit Patel user that is at blind.uk. That is something like pop it out to my local Coco Pops UK. That is a supermarket channel to grab milk and see if I could find the new Kellogg's UK Coco Pops box with a NaviLens smart code, which makes the packaging instantly accessible to visually impaired. I have to say, I was super impressed. What do you think? Well done, San Business School and RNAB. Wow, that is incredible. Because making more accessible one food package is as easy as to add the NaviLens code into the package. It's an amazing project. Another project that we very recently is to make the street name accessible signage, especially for the low vision users. So this is the mayor of the city of Murcia, where the city where we are, and presenting the new NaviLens code at the street name search. And doing that, okay, as simple as that, the low vision user can access to the information about the name of the street that they are starting and having indication, locally indication plus historical information about the reason that this street is calling for one name, or is using one name or another. For example, this is a famous city in Spain, Cordoba, that is called in Spanish Calleja del Salmorejo. It's like a famous drink that is gazpacho, okay, that is typical in Spain. And this street name is having the name for the gazpacho, okay, the invention of the gazpacho in this city. And you can access to that information scanning the NaviLens code. So helping the low vision users community, plus having the information about the cultural or historical information about this particular street. Okay. Another project that is interesting is this accessible pedestrian crossing signal that we are doing with IMEC in Belgium, that they are using the NaviLens code in order to help to make the pedestrian crossing more safer for the users, in order to inform when the signal is green and when it's red in real time, and helping the user to guide through the pedestrian crossing. Super, super interesting as well. At the end of the user cases, this is the last one, accessible museums. Museums is super important to make more accessible, because you know perfectly well that in some, the museums usually requires that you have like a guide visit, or in a group or something like that. Okay, you cannot enjoy the museum visit. So adding the NaviLens code, we can help to locate specifically different parts of the museum. We can talk more about any artifact, any item that is in the museum, and we can help, for example, in this case, to locate one mock-up, that the user can touch by themselves and independently. And the same code, you can scan the code with NaviLens app, and you're going to obtain the audible information. But if you scan the code with the NaviLens Goal app, you can configure it that you prefer sign language information or pictograms or easy to read, and you are going to receive the information in this format using only on one NaviLens code. Okay, so we have finished the use cases. It's 2 years of very hard work, but with a lot of passion. And right now, I would like to talk more about the free NaviLens code for personal use. Anyone of the audience can download and use it for free, and the new NaviLens Family and Friends feature. First, any visually impaired user in the world can request the free personal codes. It's as easy as to download NaviLens at Android or with Android or iPhone. Go and select the request tax options and fill the form, and you will receive an email with free NaviLens code empty codes. So if you read one of this code, first, you have one video, okay? The video can tell you the instructions in order to separate in autonomous way, okay, the different codes that you receive in the same page. So if you scan the code, you are going to have the information that is a blank tag. Use the personal note option to complete it, and you can add any information to each one of the codes in the personal codes. So for example, in this example, I have added sugar. So the next time that you are going to read that code, you will obtain the information recorded to that code, that is sugar. Second, we launched recently a new functionality that is called Friends and Family and Backup, that you can share the information that you are writing in the codes with friends or other family members. So they can access to the same information that you write, or you can access to the same information that they write, and you control every time when you give access and what person, and when you want to cut the access to your information, you can stop sharing the information with the other friends and family members. And this option is helping you to have a backup to the cloud of the content of your codes in the case that you change on your mobile device. Well, and 5, the NaviLens free kits for association school. We launched a free kits package for any association of school in the world in order to download for free the NaviLens code with pre-recorded information. It's not the same that when an owner of a space contract a professional account, okay? But it's like you can download a set of NaviLens code with pre-recorded usual places in a school or association. For example, male toilet, female toilet, principal office, disinfectant, something like that. So if you access to free.navilens.com, you can download for free these codes. Indeed, it's been implemented in places, like for example, the Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired School at the Wisconsin, USA, helping the young people to using NaviLens in order to locate some places or assets or elements inside the school. Is very, very, very nice project. And 6, and for the end of the presentation, what's next? And I'm very, very excited. I'm very delighted to share with you the NaviLens 360 Vision feature. That is incredible. It's the new feature that we are working in the last 2 years and a half. NaviLens is an accessible digital signage. It's signage. You can add a NaviLens code in a bus stop, and you are making visible that bus stop. An elevator, and you are making accessible visible that elevator. And the user is reading several codes, and they can figure out the environment that they are where they are. But with the new NaviLens 360 combines the NaviLens 360 codes with a 3D computer vision position system. So the NaviLens code became like a GPS satellites, only using a piece of paper. And doing that, NaviLens 360 will allow cutting-edge indoors navigation functionality through the NaviLens code with a new experience that we have called UVPS, Ultra Accurate Visual Position System. This new feature will be available very soon, and it will be great. And the objective, the goal that we have, the passion, the hard work that we are doing is, the goal that we have is to create a more inclusive world for the visually impaired people and for everyone. And this is the team that have developed the technology. You can see here 17 smiling faces, very passionate, very young people working very hard in order to make this possible. Thank you so much. And here you have the email that please don't hesitate to contact us at info@navilens.com, info@navilens.com. And a very important thing, all the codes that you have seen into the presentation, you can use the NaviLens app, you can download the NaviLens app and see you again this presentation, and you can scan any of the experience that you have, that I have presented today, in the same way that you will be able to be in Barcelona, New York, reading the Kellogg's package or something like that. You can download NaviLens app, or you can download NaviLens Go app for low vision users or sighted users. Okay, so thank you so much for your attention. It was a pleasure to present the work that we are doing. Thank you.